Hello everyone, welcome to YOSHANEM. Today our topic is factorial. First, I will give a brief description about factorial and then we will solve some old exam questions. So, what's factorial? Factorial is a number or an algebraic expression, with an exclamation mark, and it says to multiply all whole numbers from the given number down to 1. When you are writing out factorial, the next number is always going to be 1 less than the previous number. Okay, for example, 3 factorial. You are going to start with 3 times 1 less than 3 is 2 and 1 less than 2 is 1. So when we multiply all these numbers, it's going to be 6. For example, 4 factorial. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24, and 24 times 1 is 24. So for any positive n integer, it's gonna be n factorial. So we are gonna start with n, and 1 less than n is n minus 1. 1 less than n minus 1 is n minus 2, and all the way down to 3 times 2 times 1. By the way, you don't have to write all the numbers from the given number down to 1. You don't have to do it. You can stop anytime you want, like 4 factorial. You can write it as 4 times 3 factorial, or 4 times 3 times 2 factorial, or like 7 factorial. You can write it 7 times 6 factorial, or 7 times 6 times 5 factorial, etc. It's really useful because we will be using this in some questions. So for n factorial, you can write it as n times n minus 1 factorial, or n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. This is n. Or n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3 factorial. If you write all the way from n to 1, you'll have this. Okay? Now, what's 0 factorial? 0 factorial equals to 1. Just keep that in your mind, okay? So let's start with this question. This question is from 2018. So it says n plus 1 factorial over n minus 1 factorial equals to 420. And what's n? So if we find something alike between n plus 1 and n minus 1, we can cancel them, right? So here, which one is bigger, n plus 1 or n minus 1? If you say n plus 1, you are correct. So how can I write n plus 1 factorial? It will be 1 less than n plus 1, it's n, and 1 less than n is n minus 1 factorial. And here n minus 1 factorial. I am gonna leave it as it because I want to cancel them. Okay, equals 420. And we can cancel n minus 1 factorial here, and I'll have n plus 1 times n equals to 420. Look at these numbers. These are n plus 1 and n are consecutive numbers, right? So if I write 420, if I factor out it and find 2 as 2 consecutive numbers, I can find the answer easily. And it's 21 times 20. So here n plus 1 is 21 and n is 20. The answer is here, but I can also check here. 21 minus 1. It's 20. This question is from 2016 and it's a very basic one. We are gonna write them from the given number down to 16 factorial because 16 factorial is the smallest one, right? So I'm gonna stop once I get to 16 factorial. 16 factorial plus 17 times 1 less than 17 is 16 factorial over 18 times 17 times 16 factorial. Look at this, 16 factorials. When I factor out 16 factorials, I'll have 1 and 17 plus 17 over 18 times 17 times 16 factorial. I can cancel 16 factorials and 1 plus 17 is 18 divided by 18 times 17. I can also cancel 18 and in the numerator I'll have 1 over, in the denominator I'll have 17, and that's the answer. And this one is from 2015 and it's given in algebraic expression. It says n factorial times n minus 3 factorial over n minus 2 factorial times n plus 1 factorial. So look at this, n plus 1. So I can write n plus 1, n plus 1 times n. 1 less than n plus 1 is n, right? So n minus 3 and minus 2. Which one is smallest? This one is smallest. So if I write out n minus 2 factorial, I can have n minus 3 factorial, right? So let's start. N factorial times n minus 3 factorial divided by n minus 2 times what is 1 less than n minus 2 is n minus 3 factorial times n plus 1 times n factorial. So I can cancel n factorial. I can also cancel n minus 3 factorial. 1 times 1 over n minus 2 times n plus 1. So is 1 divided by n minus 2 times n plus 1. And that's the answer. And this question is from 2014 and it's similar to the previous one. It says n factorial plus n plus 1 factorial divided by n plus 2 factorial. So which one is the smallest? N factorial is the smallest one, right? N factorial plus what is 1 less than n plus 1? I can write it n plus 1 times n factorial over n plus 2. 1 less than n plus 2 is n plus 1 and 1 less than n plus 1 is n factorial. So I can factor out n factorial. It's gonna be 1 plus n plus 1 over n plus 2 times n plus 1 times n factorial. Let's cancel n factorial, and 1 plus n plus 1 is n plus 2 over n plus 2 times n plus 1. So I can cancel n plus 2. I'll have left 1 over n plus 1. And see, that's the answer. This one is from 2014 and you know it looks very easy. It says 5 factorial minus 4 factorial divided by 5 factorial plus 4 factorial. 4 factorial is the smaller, so let's solve this. 5 times 4 factorial minus 4 factorial divided by 5 times 4 factorial plus 4 factorial. Let's factor out 4 factorial. 5 minus 1, right? And here, if I factor out 4 factorial, I'll have 5 plus 1. Cancelling 4 factorial, I'll have left 5 minus 1 is 4 and 5 plus 1 is 6. But look at this, there is no 4 over 6, so let's go ahead and simplify it. I can divide both numbers by 2, right? So I'll have 2 over 3 and that's my new answer. This is also so easy and it's from 2014. It says 6 factorial minus 4 factorial over 3 factorial. 3 factorial is the smallest, right? So I'm gonna write them out until I get 3 factorial. 6 factorial, 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 factorial minus 4 times 3 factorial over 3 factorial. So let's factor out 3 factorial. 6 times 5 times 4 minus 4 over 3 factorial. After cancelling 3 factorial, I have left 6 times 5 times 4 minus 4. When you multiply these numbers, we're gonna get 120 minus 4. It's gonna be 116, and this is my answer. This question is from 2014 and it's an algebraic equation. N plus 1 factorial plus n factorial over n minus 1 factorial equals to 35. And what is n? Again. So look at these numbers, n plus 1, n, and minus 1. Which one is the smallest? If you say n minus 1, yes, you are right. N plus 1 times 1 less than n plus 1 is n, and 1 less than n is n minus 1 factorial plus n times n minus 1 factorial over n minus 1 factorial is 35. Let's factor out n minus 1 factorial. N minus 1 factorial, I'll have n plus 1 times n, and here I'll have n, right, over n minus 1 factorial equals to 35. Let's cancel n minus 1 factorial, and n plus 1 times n plus n is left 35. Let's factor out n here. N times n plus 1 plus n, 1, equals to 35. Let's continue here. N times n plus 1 plus 1 is n plus 2, 35. So here look at these numbers. There are two differences between them, right? If I factor out 35 and find two numbers that are, there is two difference between them, it will be the answer 5 times 7, right? So here n is 5 and plus 2 is 7. Let's check here. 7 minus 2 is also 5, and that's my answer. The last question is from 2020 and it's a different type of question. In this question we are going to find maximum x plus maximum y, and there is a tricky point, k is an even number. We have to be careful about it, okay? This is important. We are going to find all 2's and 5's in this 23 factorial and add them up together to find maximum x plus y. So that means when you factor out 23 factorial, it's gonna be, from definition 23, 22, 21, all the way down to 3 times 1, 2 times 1. In order to find how many 2's and how many 5's in 23 factorial, we are going to do this, dividing 23 by 2 until we cannot divide the quotient anymore. So it's 11, right? Let's divide it again. It's 5 divided by 2, it's 2, and it's 1. Since I cannot divide a 1 by 2, we have to stop here and we will add these quotients together, 11 plus 5 plus 2 plus 1, and that's my maximum x. It's 19, right? 19 is my maximum x. So now we are going to find all these 5's in 23 factorial. So 23, I'm gonna divide by 5. It's gonna be 4. I cannot divide 4 by 5. That's why this is my maximum y. So it was saying maximum x plus y. It's 19 plus 4 is 23. And there is a 23 here. But wait, it was saying k is an even number. So k is a number like 2a, 2b, there is at least 1, 2 is here. So I have to give my one of 2's from x to k. So my maximum x, my new maximum x will be 19. I'll subtract 1 from this and it's gonna be 18, right? This is my new maximum x, and finding maximum x plus y is 18 plus 4, and it's gonna be 22, and that's my answer. So please be careful about this information, okay? Well, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave us a comment. Hope to see you at next videos. Bye.